Hello YouTube family, welcome back to The Last Pigment. My name is Andalee if you haven't seen my channel before, and I do a lot of watercolor DIYs. So today we're going to do another DIY project. Instead of an art share, it is Inktober. So I wanted to do something that really fit in with the theme of Inktober and was creative and different, and I thought doing a watercolor font would be very unique. I did a quick search last week. I didn't see a lot of them. I saw a lot of fonts that claim to be watercolor style fonts, but they're not actually watercolor. So we're going to do a watercolor font in this video and upload it, and then I'm going to show you how you can actually use it. So lots of really cool stuff in this video, so stick around to the end if you can. And if I don't see you again, thank you for stopping by. So we're gonna get started now. So I downloaded the sample PDF that Caligraphr provided, and in the website you select which fonts that you actually want to use. So in theory you could pick just upper and lowercase letters if you wanted to, but I decided to go with a full font set. I also have a paid subscription, so I just wanted to try this out and create a font that I could sell on Creative Market and just have a little bit of fun with this project. If you're interested, I left the link down below for Caligraphr and for some of the other things that I use in this video. I'm also going to provide a link so that you can do a step-by-step walkthrough of exactly what we do in the video. I realized later on that after I did this video, there was one part of this that got a little bit left out, and it's the part where I physically upload the PDF to Caligraphr, but I'm going to include that step in the walkthrough, so no worries. If you're like me and you need to see the actual step-by-step process, I'll be providing that too. So I wanted to comment real quick about the watercolors that I'm using. I am using a QOR watercolor set with a very minimal palette, and I really love this little palette because I can take it with me. I can do plein air. It's really small and compact. It fits in your purse, and the colors are extremely vibrant for this kit. So I am also going to link to everything that I use in the video, including the brush, paper, everything. I wanted to comment also that the brush that I'm using has a really long tip. I know that for some calligraphy, it really is better to use a wide tip brush with wider bristles, but for this project I really wanted a thin minimalist font that looked very watercolor hand sketched, so I thought it would be a little more true to that sort of feel if I used a longer tip brush and just keep adding water, because water tends to evacuate from the bristles really quickly when you have a smaller brush. So I did also feel that the smaller tip brush would give me more control over creating the letters. And I like how it turned out. So I worked through all 4 pages of this PDF. I'm not going to show that whole process, but I wanted to show you how I created the letters here. You're just going to be creating them inside the boxes, and then you're going to be scanning the PDF and uploading it to Caligraphr. So that will be your next step. I also felt like just leaving these letters rough. I didn't want to obsess over it. I just wanted to create something that I could really use and then upload it to Caligraphr, test it out, and then clean it up later. So I am going to be doing a follow-up video for this, showing you how I would clean it up in Procreate, and also create a baseline for each letter to follow, because you really want the font to look clean when you go to use it. But you'll see what I mean later on. The rest of the video is really going to be hands-on, where I show you how you're going to upload this, put it into Adobe Illustrator, and then create a design from there. I'm doing this because a lot of watercolor videos, they show the watercolor process and the artistic process, and I have 13 years of experience in graphic design, and I've found these creative ways to really apply my fine art skills to just other projects that I'm doing, and I want to share that so that if you're interested in learning how to use Adobe Illustrator or other software, hopefully these tutorials will be really helpful for you. All right, so now that we have painted the letters, I am going to scan this sheet in using my flatbed scanner that I purchased this year. And then we're gonna create the font. Okay, so now that I've scanned it, I'm opening it up in Photoshop and I'm just going to rotate these because it looks like they're not right side up. So we definitely want them to be right side up before we upload them. So I'm just doing that and then Command S to save it. And then I'm just gonna close them out. So I'm just doing a file, image rotation, and then 180 degrees. And it just flips it from top to bottom. Save, Command S, and this one looks fine. And this one needs to be adjusted a little bit. So we're gonna do this one too. And then I'm gonna upload the sheets. I've never done this before, so I'm really excited. I'm getting the jitters already. I can't believe I can actually see the font already. This is so exciting, and it gives you a preview of each letter, and you can like eliminate some of them or add them. This is so cool. What I don't like so far is that there were parts of the letters that were more see-through and you could see more brush strokes. So what I would really love is to achieve that kind of texture in the font set, but I think it's okay for now, just because this is our first one, to just go ahead and make this as a font and then experiment with other mediums to see, you know, maybe how we can get more of that effect. So maybe I can do more brush strokes around the letters that are a lot more see-through, and it might create lines instead, just to give the effect of a watercolor brush. But I'm excited. I want to see how this looks. So let's finish up. Now I'm looking at the font, and you'll see that there are some areas like right here where the letter is just a little rough. And normally I would take the time to go in and fix all of those little blips and just clean up each letter, but because I'm just showing you how to do it in this video, we're just gonna crack on, as they put it, and make the font. And then probably tomorrow I'll clean it up and then make it into a really, really clean, nice font and upload it to Creative Market. But let's just go through the process and see how it turns out this time. Okay, so I typed build font, I tapped on the button, and this is what came up. So because I have a limited account, I guess I can only get 75 characters. I didn't realize that. I thought I had Pro. But I'm totally happy with this because I can actually use this on all of my social media graphics. So let's go create something and see how it looks. So you're gonna click here to get the font. And I'm gonna download both versions because I'm using Adobe Illustrator. And then I'm gonna open Illustrator and upload the font. So now I'm double clicking on the font itself, and you'll see a preview here, and then you go to install font. It'll do it for you. And then you can open up your Adobe Illustrator and create something. I just had another thought. If I wanted to use Canva and create some social media graphics, I can actually upload fonts to Canva, and I had no idea I could do this. So maybe that's what I'm gonna do right now instead of Illustrator. Just wanted to pop in here and mention that Canva is an amazing resource. When I discovered it, I realized how much time I was wasting on my social media icons. They need to look nice, but they don't need to be so perfect that you obsess over them for 5 days, because then you miss the whole point of sharing your work. So I want to highly recommend Canva. There's a link down in the description of this video if you'd like to check out Canva. I highly recommend it as a resource. And after discovering today that I can upload my own custom fonts, I mean, why wouldn't I do that? That's just amazing. It's so much faster than, you know, opening up Illustrator and creating a design from scratch. So I just wanted to recommend that. Link is down below, and then let's get on to uploading this font. So I created this canvas at 1080 by 1080, and I'm about to see if the font actually uploaded to my Instagram. I'm just gonna make this a little bit larger. and see if I can find it. I called it Watercolor. So let's just look in the list. Oh, look at that, it's there. How exciting is that? Okay, so I'm gonna add an image in here and then overlay the text on it and see how it looks. Okay, so I threw a graphic in here, I typed some text, and I created a little box behind it, and now I'm gonna select my font. Oh, I love it. It looks so good. Oh, it's so funky. I love how uneven it is. It doesn't quite look like watercolors, but it really does look cool. So take a look at that. That is my handmade font. That is really cool. I love that. Well, what do you think? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear what you thought of this quick little DIY tutorial, and if you like it, if you're gonna do it yourself, please share something that you've made if you decide to make one too. There are ways to make this look nicer, but then that would kind of have me getting into like how to use Illustrator. But you can customize it in Illustrator and make some of the characters larger or smaller, and you know, adjust like the spacing between the letters. However, I think I'll do a follow-up video and show you how I would clean up these letters using my iPad, and how I would resize them and make them a little bit more even and sit on a baseline so that when you type them, they don't look super funky like this. But because this is actually my font and the purpose was to make a funky font, I'm actually really happy with it. And yeah, I guess in the next video we will experiment with trying to make it look more like watercolors. Hey, so I hope you really enjoyed that video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It helps me out. I really appreciate the support. And go check out my Instagram and Pinterest. I post a lot of tutorials and articles there so that you can learn watercolor if that's what you're interested in. I hope that I see you in the next video.